be launching a tasty pastry. It's a low-carb Pop-Tart. It's got 3 to 4 grams of net carbs, and we love this show. This is our best place to be in LA.
Welcome back to Legendary Foods Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today is Wednesday, April 7th, 2022. And let's find out what's going on in the world of bodybuilding and fitness. We only have one show to recap from last weekend, but if you're a bikini fan, this is your time to tune in because we've got the full rundown of the Klash Pro World Championships coming your way. Top honors here went to none other than Ashlyn Little, who we told you to watch out for on last week's Recap Wednesday after her second place finish at the Bermuda Pro. The lovely and talented Alicia Facian was forced to settle for second as she did just enough to gain a slight edge over third place finisher Lucia Malavasi. Coming in fourth, we had the pride of Tom's River, Jessica Dalius, and wrapping up the top five here, we had Rachel Oberst, who looked impressive in her first time back since the 2020 season. Since there was only one show on the docket last weekend, we're going to check in with Justin Rodriguez, who's smack dab in the middle of his prep for the Indy and New York Pro coming up in a few weeks. And the word coming from sources close to Justin's camp is that he's firing on all cylinders right now. As of a few days ago, his weight was hovering around 281 pounds fasted, and we're told the plan over these next few weeks is to really drop the hammer on his conditioning. At this point, I think Justin is a clear favorite heading into both of these shows in a lot of people's minds, and based on what he's done so far this year, it isn't hard to see why. So if he can pull off back-to-back wins, then shift gears to start prepping early for the Olympia, it might end up paying huge dividends in the end, because he could roll into Vegas with a full head of steam, which would give him a strong chance of securing a top 6 finish. Check out this video, and then I want you to answer this question for me. Does Phil Heath look like he's retired to you? Last weekend, Phil flew down to Texas to train with his longtime friend and prodigy, Patrick Moore, and the people who were there managed to see him up close and all seem to think that he looks as good as any bodybuilder that they've ever seen who's allegedly in semi-retirement. Now, just for the record, no one is saying that Phil's planning to make a comeback either, so let's not start to throw gasoline on any of those flames and start up any rumors. But he is still only 42, which is still sort of young for bodybuilding, and we've seen plenty of other athletes win Olympia titles over 40 years old. So it's not like the window is completely shut if he did decide to give it one more run. And when you're someone like him, who's essentially spent your entire life training, competing, and winning at the highest level, you can't help but think that he might want to scratch that itch one more time. Speaking of scratching the itch, I want to throw this question out to you guys to see what you think because someone brought it up to me the other day. What are the chances that we see Dexter Jackson back on stage at the Masters Olympia next year? Based on everything that we've seen and heard from Dexter, he does seem to be happy with where he's at right now, and there hasn't even been one tiny little hint about him thinking about competing again up to this point. So it's really all just speculation, but that doesn't mean that it isn't a fun thought exercise. So what do you think? Do we see Dexter Jackson competing again at the Masters Olympia? Let us know in the comments below. And that does it for yet another edition of Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, reminding you to always be true to your passions and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.